Alright, we're back. We're back, guys. Oh, man. That's what I'm saying, Dalton. Susan, bro. Susan was causing me some issues. I swear. But, dude, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and just get everything loaded up and get going on some KOTOR. Dude, yeah. I had to deal with that dang show. It was like at first it started. It all started off.
A Gondor lit.
Yay! Thank you so much for the share, Dalton. Let's go, man. Some of the commentary I said to you earlier was stolen from Dalton. Yeah, and then I responded, Dalton. I responded to Sand with, "Who is Susan and why is she so lazy, man?"
Fellowship grows richer.
Just falling down in the cabinet on me, no reason. You can't prove I did it. Oh, that's great, dude. And thank you so much, Sand, for that donation, man. Holy cow. I see that coming through over there on TikTok. Let's go, man. Let's go. And I think I got my stuff all connected, so I'm gonna go ahead and just jump into things since I got started a little bit late tonight. He said bro's already at 1K likes and just started. I didn't even know that until you said that, Sand. Everything's been happening so fast. I'm about to hit 1K in a matter of seconds. That's crazy, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna pop this bad boy in. I can't remember where we were at last. I think we were just running around trying to get our quests. I think we're like kind of looking for people to talk to and putting in work. Dalton's like, I'm not Sand. For like 1K likes. Oh, I'm showing 1,013 right now on my end. There we go. And we got that loaded back up. I need to turn on my lights. That's what I'm missing. Let me get those lights turned on. Also, I gotta switch my HDMI, my input. Do that. Let me get my light turned on.
Wipe this pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
The Force fights with me.
Get on those gun turrets.
It's not working. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about that. Alright, guys. We are back. Let's do this.
Public forces pull back.
I went back there on the other side to turn on my lights.
No escape for us.
Couldn't get certain lights working, so I was just like, you know what? Forget about it.
You are strong, child.
Keep her rolling.
I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side.
Said he's putting in work. Dude, every day's been like
This is but a taste of the dark side.
every day's been a grind, but it's only been a grind because I'm waking up early and getting my workouts in. If I wasn't working out, I'd be able to spend more time doing edits and stuff. It's the best intro. KOTOR 2 was buns compared to this. Gotcha. Dude, like, that's what I know. I need to sit down, like, off stream and just watch that entire intro out because from what I've seen so far, it's been pretty cool. Like, it's been a pretty sick little intro. Like, you actually get to see a lot that's in the game. Alright, let's do this. And where we're at? 3951. We're in the Sith base. We're literally in the middle of the Sith base. Gotta give credit for its age. It's actually a very cinematic game. True that. Dude, what was crazy? I noticed with Star Wars, the Old Republic, which I believe is the MMO RPG version of this. I feel like they had some insane, like, legit cinematics Like, it looked like it was straight out of a movie scene. Like, they had some crazy ones on there. So especially considering you can buy and play KOTOR 1 and 2 on your phone. KOTOR speak. Yo, welcome to the stream, man. Yes, sir. I'm just now getting it pulled up for the night, man. Just got my stream pulled up and everything. I was a little bit late starting tonight, but we are rolling, dude. Got the G Fuel. I got my Benjamin. One thing I actually do have to do real quick is get this thing pulled up. Why? Tablet, what the hell? What is this? there's my little button. I was like, bro, how do I get to my home screen? Am I just insane for not knowing this? So you still got your letter opener from the pre-order in 2003? That's dope. I didn't even know that was a thing you could get from it. Okay, now I need to check my map, see where we're at. I don't even know exactly where we needed to go just yet. I could tell you this entire story by heart. I've played it so many times. Dude, I love it. It's my first ever playthrough, and I love the fact that you could actually just sit here and tell me the whole story. So what's cool is, like, I've already gone to Korriban, the Sith planet, and so I've already got that cutscene where you go back into outer space. You start to travel onto your last. I started to travel onto my last planet. It stuck me in. I forget the name of the mission where you're literally in Malik's ship and you face Malik. So like, I know exactly who I am. I know who our character is, but I'm trying to stick to a light side playthrough. So yes, your knowledge will be needed. This, especially when I cross on over to KOTOR 2 as well. You said you know exactly where I'm at. But yeah, this is my very last planet that I am on. I'm on what? I feel like an idiot because I still don't know how to say that for sure. Is it Manon? Am I saying that right or is that wrong? I'm pretty sure that's how I said it last time and I was wrong. But like, maybe I'm crazy. You're getting close to the point that your light side or dark side will impact story. Bet. Alright. What up, Danny? What do you think when you found out who you were? Well, the surprise was already like a little bit ruined by the time I got to it. So like, I wasn't thrown off by it. But it was still very interesting getting to that point and figuring out how you find out. Like, I was still very like intrigued by that. And right now we are almost full light side. We got our whole build here. We're a Jedi Sentinel. We're a level 9 Jedi Sentinel, level 8 soldier. Exactly, nowadays Star Wars games aren't very lore good. The Cal games were cool, but buns true. Kendra, thank you so much for the like on the live, much appreciated. Let's go. So what do you use as main team?
Another warrior joins the fellowship. Let's
hey,
go.
Thank you so much for the follow, man. So I mean, this is just what I have for now. I only have Candrace and Jolie as my team because of, I think I had them kind of set as my team due to like where I was in my on the last planet. Like maybe it's towards the end. I can't remember. I had it set particularly, or like in a very particular order because of everything I was dealing with and everything that was around me. But I just never switched them out. So now I'm still running Jolie and Candrace. So I've been told Candrace has some good Mandalorian lines for this planet specifically, so I figured I might just keep them in for some of the dialogue. And I've already ran into people that Jolie knows on this planet too, so it's been really cool just seeing what kind of dialogue that they give. Said honestly, you're with a decent team. Gotcha, dude. Yeah. I haven't had any issues with them. They've been a lot of fun to run with. Did I need to get anything else out of the Sith base? Managed to retrieve the encrypted data module from the Sith base, and you need to return it to Roland. Okay. about a star map. So it's about, we gotta bring the data pad to him about, so that we might get to the star map. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it's about, oh yeah, we got Sunry's wife. Or no, I think it's just Sunry. We got his whole case that we gotta make out and kind of figure we gotta figure out how to like bring evidence or something, or maybe we still have to run around and talk to people about his trial and everything. But yeah. Dude, I might need advice. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm assuming I already got what I needed then. If I have that data pad. Like, I don't think there was anything else for me to get. Honestly, I think I can just dip out of here. Since the sandy stuff is complicated. Wait, what do you mean the sandy stuff? Ooh, he needs a lawyer, yep. He needs a lawyer. Get me a lawyer. Gotta run all the way back over here. There's also a mercenary group. You can do missions, but it brings dark side points. Gotcha. Well, I think I've already been in here. Yeah, cause I activated this faulty war droid. I turned his shields and everything on, thinking he'd just protect me. All right, let's run back over. We gotta be getting, yeah, we're getting real close to that exit. There we go. So now I meant the case. Oh, I was ready to hear your name of this. It's stuff. Gotcha. Dude, hell yeah. Yeah, I probably will need help with it. Like, honestly, going through this game and playing through everything, it really isn't that bad. Like, it's not nearly as lengthy as I've been making it, just because it's been my first game, my first time playing. And it's like, I don't know who to talk to, I don't know where to go to find people. It's the first time experiencing maps. What? Did I mess something up? Was this supposed to happen? Oh, dude, I sometimes feel like a sense of that too, man. This was supposed to happen. Okay, good. I'm just making sure, because I just broke into the Sith base. Like, I didn't even care. You're placed under the arrest of the Ato City Civil Authority. As Eric Cartman says, authority. I've done nothing wrong. You'll never take me alive. What? Why? I want to say what? Why? I must play dumb. That wasn't me. They can't prove it. They can't prove it. I got my lawyer in the chat. They can't prove it. The Sith can't prove it. We'll find out about him on one of the planets. Ooh. Said roll for charisma. Nah, that wasn't me. That's my doppelganger. It wasn't me. They didn't see me on the cameras, I swear. It was just someone that looked like me, you know? HK-47. He's my favorite droid of all time. I think I'm putting HK-47 above C-3PO and R2-D2. No, not Karth. Not Karth, no. Domri, what are you doing, dude? My dog's just like cowering in the corner like he's did something bad and he knows it, and he's just looking at me like he's scared. Okay, now he's laying down in his bed. He's not being sus. Always acting sus, like he's done something wrong. The Karth had good decks, so he hit hard, but not as survivable as Candra's. True. Candra's, dude, I got some crazy armor on him. Why does Karth always have to, why does he always gotta argue with me, man? He's like always up in my grill, pissed at me. I'm just kidding, I know exactly why. It's like even after he found out, like the big important piece of information, he wasn't even like, he didn't even seem pissed. I mean, he was a little bit, but I thought he would have like thrown a tantrum. I thought he would have tried to like kill me or something. I don't know. Dude, yeah, Dalton, all the time, man. Those two will never, dude, they'll just talk your ear off, bro. Everyone hates cards. At least everyone that has commented. Or you're talking about Karth. Alright, selected as your arbiter for the duration of your trial. Wait, what? Now we're getting tossed into this bad boy. I said I enjoyed talking to Karth, but he was a good ally. It's almost weird how good of an ally he was for how often he tried to like argue with you and he would just throw tantrums mid dialogue. Okay. You've been charged with initiating violence within the Sith embassy, murdering members of the Pastor and disregarding our own laws regarding
Another
violence?
warrior joins the fellowship.
Violence.
Let's go.
No, KOTOR, spelled with a C. Thank you so much for the follow and the like on the live, man. Much appreciated, dude. Hell yeah. And he said it's all about Zalbar, bro. Zalbar's lit. We needed Big Z back in here. Candace was yo, what up, Geo? Candace was your goat, keeping the party alive, dude. Hell yeah. I got some insane armor. I have that who is it? I have that Calo Nord armor on Candace right now, and it's goated. Of course, always follow some KOTOR players. Let's go, dude. Yes, I have been to the Wookiee.
Another warrior
planet.
joins the fellowship.
Sir.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Gio, thank you so much for the follow, man. What is it? I feel insane for not knowing how to say some of this stuff compared to considering how often or how many times I've watched like the movies and the shows. But is it it's not Kashyyyk. Is it like Kashyyyk? Kashyyyk? But yeah, no, I'm trying to think. That was my third planet. So I went Dantooine, Tatooine, Kashyyyk, I went Korriban, and then where we're at now. You said you've heard pronounced both ways, gotcha. Like I never know like what the actual correct pronunciation is, and I feel like an idiot sometimes, but I get corrected on it. I'll get called on it from time to time. People will comment on clips or past VODs and they'll be like, it's not pronounced this, it's pronounced this, and I'm like, all right, cool. I just tell them thank you and keep moving on, you know. Dude, right, Gio? Right, man. I feel your pain. I'm getting my stuff pulled up real quick. I forgot to pull it up. I like to have a little playback right in front of my face in case something isn't working right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so how will you get me free? What can I do? It's all the Sith's fault. Well, how will you get me free? Can I ask us questions? It's an engagement. This is good engagement, brother. Is that kind of like, is it kind of like the same idea that any publicity is good publicity? If you trust yourself, don't use an arbiter. Oh, okay. What? I don't know what to say now. I don't know what to do. Shit. I was invited. Now we're lying, right? If you use an arbiter, you're mostly screwed. I'm skipping through it. We're gonna load up an old save and I'm gonna get right out of here because I don't want to do this. I can't skip or pause. guys, I'm spamming A. I'm spamming A. I just want to load up an old save. Like, whatever's gonna happen's gonna happen, but guys, like, I'm just... I did not sand, but I also had nothing left to do from my save earlier. And I know where I'm going and what to kind of do now. We're skipping it. We're skipping it, boys. We're gonna go right back through it, though, whenever we get out of here. This is insanely long. I just want to get out of it. I got a solution. It's called eject the disc and then close it right back up. You really good. You said I really like to see the old Republic film like this and the Mando Wars that wrecked the Republic, bro. Yeah, you did. Yeah, no, Sand, I know. I didn't know what was even going on there. There's no point in playing it out because I don't want to be screwed, man. I don't want to. We'll represent ourselves, and I don't really have far to go. I mean, we just got to get to the exit from our save, and we're done, and we're right back at it. KOTOR, you said you're making a lore-heavy card game of KOTOR, but it's taking you forever. Gotcha. Dude, that might take a minute. Geo, you're not wrong. Keanu Reeves? That would be sick, bro. That would be sick. I feel like I've heard someone else mention that before in chat a while back. Also noticing we're almost at 2,000 likes on the stream over there on TikTok. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Dude, hell yeah. No! Ah. A gift of honor. Much appreciated for the gifts I see that's coming through. Also, Jonathan, thank you so much for the rose, man. I did just spill a drink. I need to clean that up. I'll be right back, guys. All right, there we go. All right. We're good, guys. I spilled a drink, put a towel on it, called it good. I'll clean it up a little better tomorrow or tonight. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream, though. Instead of reaching the next phase, yes, sir. Let's go. I gotta run back to the entrance. So, earlier, I wish I would have slowed down earlier, because I didn't really know what was going on when we left the Sith base. But I was informed that if we represent ourselves in front of the council, we'll be better off. Save all those light side points to take the love option. Jonathan's saying take the love option. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure I'll find out soon, right? It's a long-standing agreement to the Star Wars commute. Oh, really? Dude, that's sick, Geo. I'm seeing your last comment there, bro, about Keanu Reeves. Hell yeah. I'm assuming that's the only way out. Well, who are we waiting on? Okay, there we go. We're good, bro. So, well, you could have been planting the love. Oh, I didn't know that. She's gone right now. We can't even use her. She's not even usable anymore. Unfortunately. Where's Dalton at? I think it's time for a little rip action. The big whip. You're trying to style it like Slay the Spire. You spent 6 weeks on that and the cards. Ooh, and art. That's sick. Hell yeah, man. Dude, that's gonna be a lot of work going into that. Like, I don't imagine that being an easy task. Basically help her to come to the conclusion that you're pretty much the best thing for her. Gotcha. Gotcha, man. Okay, so what do I say? Do I have to say, is there any certain lines I should be saying here? So not the last one. Gotcha, Dylan. Much appreciated, man. Welcome to the stream, dude. All right. Inquiries to the staff. The embassy yielded no response. It would seem. Oh, our cameras recorded you entering the base shortly before contact was lost and fighting apparently began. They have no proof, do they? It is the conclusion of the Anno City Civil Authority that you are responsible for the disturbance here, and you are hereby placed under arrest. They can't do that. Nope. You will come with us to await your trial. What? As material witnesses, the individuals who accompany you will be detained at your vessel, and the vessel itself prohibited from leaving. Shit. So we are watching you make mistakes. Nobody will tell you what to so far. You never spoiled in this game. Dude, it's like a major learning curve if it's your first time ever, because you don't know what to expect from each dialogue option. Because it's like you gotta figure out what's gonna be the right choice. What is the right choice to make in order to get the outcome that you want, you know? What? Are you telling me I can't even represent myself? This is insane. I thought I'd be able to represent myself. So it didn't matter what I answered. So I should have just took my time going through the last time instead of skipping it. You have to do it at the very start of the hearing. Oh, gotcha, Dylan. Yeah, like I thought it was gonna be right here, because what I did earlier, I skipped through all of this. I spammed my A button to get through all the dialogue because I wanted to restart, and eventually I just opened my game tray and then closed it back up and loaded my game back up. But because I wanted to go back through this. So how will you get me free? Like, I've already been given all relevant data on you and your companions, so that can be disregarded. For what reason did you enter the Sith embassy? I broke in. I had authorization to enter. I was invited. I had authorization to enter. I'd probably be the rightful one. You have to use your law school degree. I ain't got that saying. I graduated with a bachelor's in engineering technology. I didn't earn a bachelor's in law school. I didn't get a law degree. I'm done for. I said watch someone yesterday playing on the Leviathan and no one told the spoiler. I was so proud. Yeah, I was playing on the Leviathan like two days ago and I got told the spoiler at like the start of it. So you didn't kill the thing. I think you did your game should be fine. Alright. What is your prior association with the Sith? I kill them wherever I can find them. That is probably one of the greatest dialogue answers I've ever seen right there. I feel like we're gonna end up in jail regardless, and then someone's gonna get us out. It's gonna take some trial and error and time. Oh boy. What if I just go, I have no prior association? Alright, here we go. That should be all the information I require you for now. If you wish, we can begin the trial whenever you are ready. I think I'd rather represent myself. There it is, villain. There it is. Jonathan's just saying guilty, guilty, guilty. Well, that is your right. I strongly recommend it against it. I am versed in all of the necessary particulars of this case. Off-worlder. You would do well to heed my advice. He said that might work, but I think it has to be during the hearing. I said no, fish head. Dude, what a response. I'm gonna do it here. I shall leave your demise up to you. Oh boy, this is where I fail now. Dude, I for sure fail here. While you're high standing among the off-worlders, may bring you some leniency from them. Being a successful swoop rider brings you no credit here, human. Oh man, he doesn't see me as like a celebrity, and maybe he just lets me off with a warning. Grievous murder of many Sith and extensive property damage to their embassy here. How do you plead? Guilty, guilty, guilty. I don't bleed. I tell. It's like, I don't plead. I tell. Yeah. Let's see what they say. Let the record show that this trial has commenced. Presiding our judge's shell card. Get all of these guys. All these guys. Did you do the children quests? I did not. Riley, thank you so much for the like and the live. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. You have to prove fiddling the sea. Oh, Selkith youth. What? I wasn't informed of this. Oh, so you just went in, then got busted. The Sith have not conferred with the authorities about this matter, but from all available evidence, it would seem that you are the source of the disturbance. What was your explanation for being in the Sith embassy? Well, thank you. I guess I didn't. Dude, I had no idea. I didn't have like anything left to do on the map. I'm pretty sure I explored like everything. Well, is the Selkith children, was it about the Sith that were kidnapping them? Was that it? I was investigating the disappearances of young Selkith. Right there. It's literally right there. Carson, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. You believe that the Sith had something to do with those disappearances? Yes, 100%. Said, yeah, you would need a data pad. Gotcha. Yeah, I had a data pad. The off-worlder has probably been listening to his rumor mongering. Oh, what a mean! He's mean, bro. He's being rude to us. Most likely, do you have any proof to back up your assumption, human? Have the Sith been implicated? Ah, shit. Yup. That's all we can say. You'll need to come up with a better excuse than that, off-worlder. Now it's time to figure out, okay, what other path can we take here? So the Sith lured me inside, did not. That could be. Yeah, I didn't think you did. You might be wrecked. Maybe worth doing that if you can. Well, you see, my last save that I loaded off from, I was already done with the Sith base, just had to leave the Sith base. Yeah, I doubt I'm gonna do that, because then I might have to go back like a whole hour's worth, maybe 2 hours worth of gameplay. So if you're not done with it, it will work. Yeah, I'm just saying, basically at this point, I'm not gonna go back and do it. I will get it done after this, if that's possible, but I'm not gonna go back and do it at this point. You just have to go back in there and to get that point on the map. Let me just try some things and see what happens. So, try working for the Republic. Exists either way. All right. To steal information. I was there for diplomatic negotiations. I could try that. You get a hefty fine if you go this route, but it could work. There have been many characters well known. Indeed, that is not an issue for outsiders to hear. We will adjourn to debate your story and charges brought against you. Okay. I think they'll ban you off world or something if you go this way. Ooh, this will be interesting. Hey, hey, let's go. Okay. All security personnel can't even. Okay. No calls or incidents from their base will be attended to until this matter is dealt with, as they are no longer subject to the protections of Selkith law. You have been found innocent and may leave as you desire. This trial is now over. Let's go. We did it. They literally just didn't have the evidence to prove me wrong. Now do the Sunry murder trial. Okay. Bet. Can we just start that trial at any time, or do we have to go around and talk to every single person on the map? Like, Make him and go as you please. Arbiter, you will find the door unlocked. If you wish to begin your trial, you must make the request with the warden. It shall be passed then to the judges. you said that was the weakest sauce possible? Can we speak with him?
Jolie, what are you doing here?
Oh, now he wants to talk. He wants to talk to one of our party members now.
Out of this mess. The courts went and made us.
We have to go find. Oh, I've already talked to her.
Like
to his wife before.
Jolie? You come swooping in out of nowhere to save
My first time
tail from
walking
the
in and
fire.
talking to him.
You saved my wrinkle butt more than a few
But like I've
times
talked
as well,
to
friend,
everyone
if I
else
recall.
around.
But there'll be time for catching up later. Right now, we need to focus on the case. The case is a complete frame-up. Anyone looking at the evidence could see that. Or so I thought.
He's framed.
The cellcast seem to think that there's enough to go to trial. There aren't any witnesses. All that evidence against me is circumstantial and
They
completely
set him
flawed.
up. They set him up. Dude, I don't even know like what to. Let's go over the evidence.
Well, I was at the hotel, I admit.
Hear his
And
story.
I did meet Alasa there that night, but it's not what you think. I was working with Republic intelligence.
Oh.
We were pretending to feed information to the Sith. Well, I turned Alasa into a double agent working for us.
Oh.
It was going well, too, until she turned up dead. Maybe the Sith had found out I was turning her and had her eliminated. But let's look at the facts they've given. Alasa was brutally killed. Think about that. She was a Sith, trained in battle, and I'm just a crippled old man. My war injuries make it difficult for me to walk, even to hold things.
He
See
could
how my
have
hands
done
are
it.
shaking? How could I
The
kill
Sith
a
are
Sith
framing
warrior
us.
at close quarters? I ask you. Further, they say they found my heroes cross at the crime scene. Would I leave my war medal behind if I killed someone?
Damn.
Even I'm not that stupid. Obviously, the Sith planted the cross.
This is crazy.
And what about the lack of forensic evidence? Skin and hair samples, clothing fibers. Why isn't there anything like that at the crime scene? Sounds like an obvious frame-up to me.
I don't know how I feel
Hope you
about
can
this.
See how the Sith are manipulating the cell
Dude.
and probably even you to set up this against me. We need to get this over with quickly and clear my name. Anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, help this
I want
man.
my
Dude, so
arbiter
many
to be
choices.
Beacons.
well
Gondor,
prepared.
lit.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing the live, man. Much appreciated, dude. Let's go. Hell yeah. All right. Okay. Is there anything? So remember the Jedi code. There are no emotions. That's true.
Go ahead, ask. Ask what you need to. I've got nothing
Let's
to
see
hide.
what he says here. The judges said that you left after the shot was fired.
How would they know? They weren't there. I heard some of the witnesses said that too, but I swear she was alive when I left. I wonder if the Sith have been putting pressure on people to get them to convict me. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Ooh,
They've
Sith
had it in
could
for
do
me since
something
the
like
war.
that.
You should ask everyone about that. They might admit to helping the Sith under pressure.
Is there anything else?
Go ahead, ask.
No.
Oh, okay. Very well. Once you've gotten enough evidence to go to trial, just tell
Just
the
tell the
warden
warden
we're ready.
you're ready.
The sooner I
Okay.
get out of the cell, the better.
All right, sweet. Is there anyone else in here? Another prisoner? What's he
When I
say?
get out of here, you're dead. I'll gut your fishy little corpse.
Guys,
cock your
he
head
is
and
not
bathe in your
happy.
blood.
This dude's having a terrible day. Is it Batman in this case, lol? Hell yeah. There's the warden. So we talked to the warden when we're ready. But like we've already spoke to her.
I hear you've been appointed as arbiter. find the real evidence.
Okay, can we actually go to the hotel for this case and talk to people? Okay, so how do you get to the hotel? Imagine we gotta go, what, central from here? Ato's City Central. No, I thought maybe I'd been to it already, but I don't think I ever actually was. Like, I've talked to a lot of people walking through the map though. Didn't want to spoil, but I was gonna ask. Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, because like this. Also, remember, this is my first time ever going through this map, so like I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where things are. Sam, what's going on? You say you love dropping in, seeing you play this goat of a game. Keep pushing, King. Dude, I appreciate it, man. Welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, this is my first ever playthrough, so it's like I'm even learning the maps and everything. So we just came from west. I need to go, I assume, east central. Just keep running. There's a Sith soldier. Public soldier. And we're going to east central. There we go. West. I thought you said west. I'm going east. I was in west, but I don't think there was anything in the west for me. I'm going east. To get most, you'll dab a little bit in the light and the dark side. Gotcha. Dude, I've been able to stick mostly to the light side so far. Like, I'm almost all the way light right now. Oh, there you go. Now you can kind of see it. But yeah. I thought going through Korriban, Sith World, I thought I was gonna like dabble a lot in the dark side on that without meaning to, without trying to. Okay, so now I don't know if I need to go directly north or to the east courtyard from here. Jonathan saying west? At west, Patrick, you're fired. Wait. So I'm supposed to go west. I just came from the west. The hotel was not over there. What are you guys talking about? What? Alright, I'm gonna Google this. To hotel in Manan. Reach it from the docking area. Head north from the docks, past the port, into the first courtyard. Continue east to the second courtyard. Okay. So I need to go east until I hit the second courtyard. They were literally, Google just said head east until I hit the second courtyard. Same corridor opposite. Just go where you haven't been. Well, I haven't been directly north of me. And I also don't know if I've been all the way east or going to the next courtyard. Like, I haven't explored everything. There's a visitor's hotel. So that's it. Can I just like walk in and talk to people? Did you find the other data pad yet? Let me go ahead and look. I don't think I have. I got data module, which this was retrieved from the remains of a Republic droid. Might actually not be important. Yeah, I really can't remember what I've even picked up. Here's a visitor's guide we picked up. I don't think that really matters.
You're the one defending Sunry now.
There we go. This is a guy to talk to.
The hotel's open for you. And I guess I gotta answer any questions you want too. The Sith woman, Alasa, rented a room in the hotel. An hour or two later, Sunry comes in and goes to her room. A couple hours later, I hear a blaster shot and see Sunry running. He can't run good because he's a cripple, but he still was going pretty fast. I would swear he started after the shot, though. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's possible, just barely. But I wouldn't say that to the court.
Oh my gosh. Pay him off? I thought you didn't want to. Shit. I thought it was always a bad thing to do this on this planet, to persuade. I've been told not to do it. From past chats. You will testify Sunry left before the shot. Did you have to? Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll tell the court Sunry left before the shot went off.
I guess this is what they call working the system. Not that I'm objecting. I just hope the Cellcath don't find out about it.
Now, was there anything else you wanted? There were only 2 other people in the hotel when it happened.
Okay.
One was a Rhodian named Glupor. Seems like a really dirty, shifty type. Normally, I don't let his kind in.
You said it's
I'm a
inevitable.
reputable businessman, you know. But there weren't.
Dan,
many people here,
you're saying
so
to
I decided
ask
to take a chance.
another question?
The other is
Well,
a regular named Firith.
we might have another thing,
He's a
another
Pazak
question we
player.
can ask him after this
Probably
too.
an addict, but he claims he's big in some circles. Don't know anything about him other than that. Anything else you want to know? Elasa used to rent rooms here every week or so.
Okay.
Then Sunry would come by a couple hours later and stay all night. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what was going on.
Oh shit, he was cheating on his wife? Is that what's going on? He's cheating on his wife, man? Oh, she's gonna be heartbroken after this.
Well, okay.
So we got a journal entry added. To get the facts from everyone for the Republic, though. Woo! So we'll just go in, speak.
You with the Cellcath? You here to see me about
Yes.
the murder too?
Yes,
I
we
told
are.
the damn fish everything
Make sure
I
to talk to
knew.
the Rhodian in the
What more do you
hotel
all
room.
want from
Bet
me?
Dylan.
Sunry, I only heard of once or twice in passing. Some sort of old-time war hero against the Sith. Seen him around in the hotel too. Going to Alasa's room always, of course.
Okay.
Keep the rest of the building up half the night with their damn antics usually.
Oh shit! Yeah, they definitely, bro. You said me and Sand Honky have been meeting up in different KOTOR streams. LOL. That's awesome. 86. Dude, that's awesome, man. How many other KOTOR streams are there? I think on YouTube I'm like one of like 5 or 6 KOTOR streams total on YouTube. Said you found one? Like one other? Dude, that's dope. Hell yeah, man. I need to follow this other man that's streaming. You mean Sunry was having a relationship?
I'm not saying anything like that. What they did in that room in private is their business.
Oh, he's not
And
gonna
there
let
isn't
us.
any rule against Sith and Republic seeing each other for personal reasons.
Oh shit,
Although if you
okay.
think a Sith master didn't know, you must be fooling yourself.
Oh. You've seen one other person on KOTOR 1 and 2 people on KOTOR 2. That's crazy. Dude, that's insane. Oh man, okay, so yeah. When did you see the night of the murder? Sith Master?
Well, Alassa was
See what
a Sith,
he
so
says.
of course she'd have to have someone above her. Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Oh. He didn't see anything. He's acting, dude, he's being suspicious, man. I'm curious, would love to watch. Maybe if I tossed in 100 credits, fourth persuade, you know you want to tell me.
You know, I think I could trust you. Heck, I don't even know why I shouldn't tell you. Well, one time, I saw Alassa coming in wearing this big cloak. I was on my way to my room, and she normally wears stuff like that, so I didn't pay her too much attention. But this time,
Dude,
I
this is
accidentally brushed up
crazy.
against her. Accidentally, of course. And her cloak fell open. Now, I don't have any qualms about the Sith. I leave them alone, and they leave me alone. And seeing as how
Oh, this
Alassa
is
had a
funny.
Sith lightsaber under her cloak, I'm not going to poke that hornet's nest.
Damn. Damn, dude. Yeah, he didn't want to mess with it, bro. He was scared. Dude's scared for his life. She was the Dark Jedi? Or...
I don't know what it means to you, but to me it kind of screams Dark Jedi.
Oh.
And I'm not getting myself in any further with the Sith. I know how ruthless they are.
Oh,
now, that's all I'm
man.
going to tell you.
Yo.
I'll testify to the court, but you aren't going to get anything else out of me.
Thought maybe I just saw a share coming through, unless my notifications aren't popping off as they should. I think we got them all. Yeah, there we go. Dark side points gained. Well, I'm not mad. That was interesting. Okay. that was some interesting dialogue. Okay, I can't go in there. So that be careful with the force mind trick, guys. Your daddy. Questions for He's calling himself not very bright. That's crazy. Heard of it, yes. Locked in the room for days. Think I'd rather pour insight to think he knows something. Well, he's not gonna actually say anything. What do you think about Sith ladies' room? Staying at the hotel, he's not very rich. Hotel much too rich for Glupor to live at. But Glupor is safe. Wait, I love his dialogue, guys. I like how he's tied in all his words and stuff. This is great. Sent you one of the ones on tube. He's playing Mortal Kombat today. Oh, Gotcha 86. Hell yeah, dude. Hey, that's dope. Back to KOTOR and on Wednesday. Ooh. I'll have to give that a check whenever he streams KOTOR 2, man. Then I can catch a little bit of gameplay and see how it plays. Rooms a very important detail, gotcha. To see what had happened, Glupor had no reason to go into room. No one paid Glupor to do it. Oh, it's just because Glupor isn't so bright. Wait, why isn't he telling us? Why are we forced to persuade regardless? How you know someone paid Glupor? Let's go. Came with the Glupor after murder before Selkith arrived. He said he give Glupor good money if Glupor put metal into Sith's hand. Oh my gosh. Are we forced to ask those uncomfortable questions? Right? 86, you said you're 2 planets down? At the start of Tatooine, got some good play time yesterday. Bet 86? I'm jealous, man. Say he killed Glupor if Glupor speaks. I think he can't talk more right now. Glupor feels the need to lie down. Maybe just stay here. So that should upgrade. Okay. Alright. I like how we can go back through our messages too. And we can kind of check out some of this. Do not have thought about, but that's as far as it goes. Ooh. Oh, you guys, y'all are just going back and forth. Hell yeah. Okay,
Got some.
Oh, I think that was that it? Let's see what else he knows. Whatever. What? Oh, never mind. He won't tell me anything else. All right. Cool. Can we go in this room? Or it looks like it's locked. Why is this room locked? But like no other room was. You couldn't even go into that one. I probably shouldn't. Said break in, homie. I don't know if I should.
No problem. Didn't work.
Well, skill too low, anyways. I can't escape. This is insane. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
My security skill's too low. Quite literally.
You, Jedi. I hear you are investigating
Yes.
the Sunray murder trial.
Who's this stranger now appearing?
This case is not at all what it appears to
Dude,
be.
companions will just stand in your way. They don't care. They just follow real close behind you, and whenever you need to turn around, just to move, just to escape the area, you can't move. Happens all the time, I swear. Not all that it appears to be. Many currents, might I say, flow beneath the surface.
This murder is much more complicated than it may first appear. The Sunray and Elassa are proxies for their governments, and both sides want the other to fail. You can see the journey by the footprints. You understand, yes?
He's like, dear. 86, thank you so much for the like of the live, man. Much appreciated, dude.
Start. If you want to get to the bottom of this murder,
all right.
you might seek information from both the Sith and the Republic, likely in their embassies.
In their embassies, alright. Even though we broke into the Sith embassy, just give it to me. Why should I believe you? I've heard enough of you. Well, I think gift of honor. Just ask about
Fellowship grows rich.
Thanks coming through with the gift. Much appreciated, man. Let's go, dude.
You would have to be devious to get what you want. Heed my advice, Jedi.
Take a little Pen Rippington for that. Hell yeah, 86 Suzuki. Roll with the short one. Okay, so you may yet find many truths to this murder. Why does he make me feel like I now have even more places to go and and talk to people? It's like I'm not even done yet. Roland.
Have you managed to... Excellent. It does not appear to have been tampered with. So
All right,
the
bet.
Sith did not manage to copy its contents yet.
Let's go.
And now for your information.
Yes,
We're
sir.
not supposed to speak of this, but since you are a Jedi and we have exhausted all the other options, I think I can entrust you with this.
All right, bet.
As you know, the Republic is fighting for its very existence against the evil of the Sith Empire. As you also undoubtedly know, we're doing very poorly. We need much in the way of supplies and material to
What's he
stem
gonna
the
give
tide of
us?
battle and bring us victory. Manon is the sole source of
Manon.
the most powerful medical substance in the galaxy.
I was saying it right. Let's go.
Get.
Okay. What has the Republic done?
Selkath conservatives, with their neutrality
See.
treaties, seek to treat the Sith and the Republic equally. This includes Kolto exports. But a few more far-sighted Selkath see that if the Sith are ever allowed to win, the galaxy will be plunged into darkness. And there will
Shit.
be nothing to stop them from taking Manon anyway. So
Alright.
we made a deal.
What sort of deal?
We recently began construction of a secret underground facility to harvest Kolto directly at its source. We
Oh,
also hope to one day be able to synthesize it effectively. Current techniques are insufficient for the task, so we must mine it for now. The
boy.
amount we take would hardly be noticed, since most is lost naturally before it reaches the surface anyway. We were nearing completion of the base when the digging teams reported some sort of obstruction. An ancient
Yes.
building or artifact.
Yes.
Possibly your star map.
That's what we need.
Transmissions
We
from the
need
base were
that.
cut off
We
abruptly
really,
after that,
really need
and
that.
We haven't heard from the station since. As you may have noticed, we're hiring a lot of mercenaries around here. Ostensibly, they're to be shipped off-world to aid in our fight against the Sith, but they're really for another purpose. When we lost contact with the station in the Rackard Rift, we sent our contingent of Republic soldiers down to investigate. None returned.
None
We've tried hiring
returned.
mercenaries and sending them down as well, but
That's
none of those
insane.
expeditions have returned either. The
Holy
reason we really
shit.
sent that droid underwater, and the reason we needed its data back so badly, was to find out what happened to the Rackard Rift station. But now that we have the data back,
Damn, okay.
our operation is in no danger of exposure to the Sith. And now I must live up to my end of the bargain.
I think it's quite literally at the bottom of the ocean. That's insane.
I took the liberty of having a submarine prepared for your
Ooh.
departure. Merely
Said
use
for the
this door to
trial,
get
there is a
past the door
computer
behind our Kolto
before
packing room
this guy. I
and into
believe
the
it has
submarine.
information on
It has
it.
been
Gotcha.
programmed to take you down to the station, and also to take you back up should you need something. I would send soldiers to assist you, but we've lost many of ours, and nearly exhausted the mercenary population of this planet. The soldiers we have are barely enough to keep this base secure. The Sith have also noted our interest, and begun to
man.
drive mercenaries away from us. Please, find out what happened to the facility. There may be some survivors left
Dude,
down there.
that's
As you
awesome.
One does
That
not
is
simply
awesome, man.
ignore
Good luck in
the
your
like button.
Hey, thanks so much for the likes coming through there, guys. Looks like got one like coming through over on YouTube. Is it this computer, maybe? Maybe that was just to like get a prisoner out. Log off. Alright, never mind that. Yep, that does nothing. There's a computer before this guy. Take a look around here. Dylan said, yep, having T3 may be helpful for that. Yeah, it would be. Be an easy swap too. I'm just trying to figure out what computer might have been around here. I'm back in the hotel. You said I passed it? Oh shit. Inside the embassy? The Republic base? I think that'd be one. I already went to this one over here and oh, it's okay. Okay, legit in this room. Yeah, okay. Large computer. Alright. Oh, shit. Open submarine bay doors. Access restricted data archives. 5 spikes. Disable local power grid. Holy shit. You can really do a number here. That's crazy. Okay. That's pretty cool. Does that mean I can just I can just do this number? Mm-hmm. How am I supposed to get 100 spikes? What? So nah, they open the door for you. You will waste the spikes. Gotcha. Okay. Insufficient spikes. Oh shit, I don't have any spikes left. How do I get more spikes? Am I insane for... Should be able to find spikes at merchant if you need to. Okay.
What?
Does that give me any? If I level up, does that give me anything? I just went ahead and leveled up. I'm gonna see if we get anything. No, we don't. Never mind. Let me go back. Let me get out of here.
Yes?
All right, I still really just wanted to explore this area up here because I didn't have it explored. Restricted access, maybe that's why. That would make sense. What do you guys know what's back here? It's just for public, right? Like, there's nothing... Oh, that's what that is. Okay. So a little submarine we'll take.
Yes?
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. So that's where I gotta go whenever we're ready to go down, which is... pretty sick. What do they got over here? Anything? I guess that's just that large computer we were at earlier. Yep. Okay, cool. So I guess we go and buy some more spikes. Agent Zeroth, I see you commenting over there on YouTube, man. You said best game series ever. Dude, let's go, man. Hell yeah. Said Tyverx. Or whatever is a merchant. Should I just fast travel back to my ship? Would that be quicker to get to one? It says on my map. There it is, all the way down there. I gotta run a distance. No, I don't. What am I doing? We're fast, guys. We're fast as shit now. Mission in your droid can give free on ship. It's like 200 credits. Oh, I mean, I think I got some credits.
How much for all this stuff, Tyvark?
Tyvark, this guy. For the Sith, a month's pay. But since you are a member of the Republic, I will charge you a week's salary. Yep.
Thanks, Tyvark. Catch you next week.
You said free spikes? Alright. I'm hearing free spikes. You said free, Jonathan. You said free, and that changed my mind. All right, so I could just what? Walk up to mission? Get some water. But yeah, so I'm assuming we can just walk up to her and I'll just ask for security spikes. Okay. Jasper, thank you so much for the like and the live. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so just go find mission. I think I want to say mission was back over here. No, new.
One does not simply ignore the like button.
We got more likes coming through on the stream. Much appreciated, guys. 2 likes on the stream now over on YouTube. Let's go. Right to the ramp. That's what I was thinking, where mission's gonna be at. Well, we could also speak to what, our droid as well. So just do that over and over. You guys are about to hear a lot of beeping and booping. Doesn't mission only give security tunnelers? So like right now, yeah, Jasper, I'm getting my programming spikes right now from T3. Does HK47 give you anything? I can just spam this over and over, right? If I can actually, I want to see. Okay, yeah, so I got 6 computer spikes right now. You said HK trains you. Keep getting those spikes, guys. We're farming. We're farming right now. So do you do simulators? I've done like farming simulator. I've got like a steering wheel for farming simulator. Oh, negative. Battle stims. Ooh, that could be nice too. Well, we have spammed our spikes, so we got as many as we can get.
Got some. I have no idea what you're talking about, Rambo. What are you saying?
That's one's like right at his feet. I was asking him about the Giska, because we haven't done anything with them. We're just letting them kind of roam around. All right. Is there anything over here? Basically just exploring our ship again. It's like how many times can you go through the same maze of a map? Talk to someone right outside the bay. You can convince them to home them. Oh, really? Right outside the bay? You can sell them to someone. Oh, I'm Anon. All right. Someone will take them. That's what you guys are saying. can maybe get money out of them. Could always use some credits. There's a few ways to get rid of them, but sometimes it's dark side gotcha. Security. What do they got down here? I'm pretty sure I'm covered. Oh, is that a restricted area? Public soldier? What's he gonna say?
Yeah, I can't talk now. I've got to get this KOTOR loaded up before my shift is over.
Oh, okay. I don't think we can go over there anyways. Let's speed this up, guys. We'll run faster. There's a merchant. Alright, what's he selling? So guys, right now we have 7,475 credits. Oh, we can get infinite amount of computer spikes here. Can I spam them? Like, now I'm just curious. It's like we only got 13. So now we can come back here and just buy a few. Until we start to run low on credits. Start to worry about some of our... Maybe we run like, one of all of those. Get some stimulants.
Another warrior
Hey.
joins the fellowship. Let's go.
There we go. We got another follow coming through. Wonder Gaming, much appreciated, man. Welcome to the stream. Is there anything? Can we talk to any of these guys? Nope. He's pissed. He hates me. These guys absolutely hate me, bro. Said you passed him? What guy were you talking about? Nubasa? This guy? I have some. Oh! Let's go. Oh, he won't take them. He said never play KOTOR, but you got both. What up? Yo, go. That's awesome. Wonder. Trying to start streaming games yourself. Gotcha, dude. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I say go for it, man. It's a lot of fun. Compatriot of mine. If you are in possession of such creatures, I hope you keep them separated. If not, you have my condolences. Ah, shit. But these are special Gitska. They don't reproduce like the others. Is there no way I can convince you to take them off my hands? I'm just gonna say thanks anyways. I'm not gonna force persuade him. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to the Selkith. I feel like that's a very, very bad thing to do on this planet. Jonathan's trying to convince me to go to the dark side. That's what it feels like. Okay, I don't know if there's anyone else to talk to here. Security droid, security droid. I don't even know if I need to go anywhere else. I might just be ready for that trial, right? That Rhodian basically just told me like there was definite Sith involvement. I mean, it's obvious. Yo, what up, A1? Welcome back to the stream, man. Hopefully you've been having a great night so far, man. I think I'm about to go decide this case. Is in Anna West, I think. Run. Let's go. Got a security droid. Keep running. I think we're just gonna go be this guy's lawyer and get him out of prison. So forcing him is the best case scenario. The only other is eat poison, which is dark side. Gotcha. Oh, to poison them. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it at some point. I felt terrified to choose to like force persuade. The very idea of using force persuade on a Selkith terrifies me, because it's like, what if somehow they use that against me? Instead, if you don't, they just stay forever. There's no other option. I didn't realize that. I figured maybe there'd be a better way. This game's loaded with options and choices. But like, I'm pretty sure we're good to go here. Let me talk to him again.
Jolie, coming to check in on an old man? I must confess, I would rather you were here to speak to the warden and begin my trial.
Soon, old friend. We don't want to go to trial until we've got the whole picture.
Oh, I grow weary of Go ahead. A Rhodian? I didn't know there were any Rhodians on Manan. Oh, except for Tyvark and this one named Glupar, who was hanging around the hotel all the time. Okay, so maybe there are a whole bunch of Rhodians on Manan. But what does that matter? If he planted evidence at the scene, it's a clear sign of a frame-up. He probably took all the evidence of the real killer at the same time. The evidence of a Sith conspiracy keeps getting stronger, doesn't it? I suspect there's still stuff you want to clear up.
Of course.
Go ahead, ask. Ask what you need to. I've got nothing to hide. I don't know what this must look like. Yes, we were having an affair.
Oh, there it comes out.
I know it was wrong, but I'm a weak man. Alasa was beautiful and young. How was I to resist her charms? I didn't kill her. I loved her. Please.
Well, that's all we need to know.
I know
he obviously didn't kill her.
Getting involved with Alasa, but I was going there to break it off with her. I did it, but found out later that she was dead. I don't deserve to go to jail just for having an affair, do I? You have to help me prove that I wasn't the killer. Very well. Once you've gotten...
All right. I'm saving here, and we're starting the trial. So how do you get just you and camera without a background? I got a green screen behind me. So if I go to my chat scene, you can see this behind me. I got a whole green screen kind of set up. But yeah, use the green screen, and then you can run with like a chroma key filter in OBS. I love it. But we'll go ahead and get this on back over. There we go. We're at how many? I wonder how many hours we're at. If I go back, so that's cool. But the green screen, you said green screen is the game when you play. Oh, I mean, whenever I'm playing, the green screen just gets completely eliminated. So you just see like gameplay behind me. And then I put my chat behind me. But like as I'm moving around, you can see I'm able to basically just put gameplay behind me. Like right now on screen, it's the full game. Then it's you with the comments behind you. Yeah. Oh yeah. But then you can still see the game even behind the comments and everything. I just love how it looks. It feels like you can see more of the game. Let's go ahead and talk to this dude. Yes, sir. What he says. But for me, I need a background. If I don't, it's your room. How did you? I mean, you said, but for me, I need a background. If I don't, it's your room. Oh yeah. So like, what you mean just with the green screen? I just make sure my green screen is entirely behind me. Like I have this camera zoomed in a little bit on me, so it's catching nothing but green screen behind me. Because like if I was to zoom all the way out, you'd see way more. And then I also what I really had to do was I had to also add I had to add in filters, right? I had to run the crop/pad filter too, to where I basically had to crop out edges of the webcam, which is why it stops where it stops instead of it should be a lot bigger. But yeah, I had to crop pad it and actually eliminate sides of my whole view. Alright, what is it that I can do for you now? Do you know anything about a star map? Ooh, yes. Okay, well, I'm asking him about the missing children. Find it very suspicious, but there are no signs of kidnappings. Oh, okay. So you like how it's set? I'm gonna need a tutorial. Dude, bet. Oh, I could easily do something like that. I could even turn that into a quick YouTube short. Do like a quick tutorial. Do you know anything about Star Map? It's quite illogical to think that a being who spends his entire day locked in a room with insane people and murders would know much about the outside world. Oh, damn. He's just calling it out. You know about the murder? Oh, yeah. Damn, he doesn't really give a shit. It's like one's Republic, one's Sith. What more is there to know? And then we're gonna do the Sunry case. Oh, we're gonna begin Sunry's trial. All right, guys. So we're gonna do this, And then after this, we will probably end up calling it a night. I keep letting time just get away from me, but I want to get through this trial and see what happens. You must be certain your investigations are complete before you request a trial. This is the role of the arbiter. Are you certain to wish to begin the trial now? Are you deaf, Flipperhead? Let's get this trial over with. That's insane. He said good luck to you. I'm gonna do it. I saved right before this. Even if I fail sand, I'm not too worried. Let's get to it. The records show that the trial of Sunry versus the Auto City Authority has commenced. Presiding our judges Shelkar. And we go through the list. Yep, there we go. This trial is to determine the culpability of Sunry in the death of the Sith Alasa. Representing Sunry in his defense as a member of the Jedi Order. Do you have any opening statements? You will find Sunry innocent. Just persuade him in front of the other judges. Dude, that's insane. I will find Sunry innocent. Do you have any opening statements? That remains to be seen. Acting as a prosecutor for the Auto City Authority is an impartial observer from the Sith Empire, of course. Of course.
It is an honor to see justice served. And I will see Sunry is executed for the crime he has committed.
This guy sucks. Do not be too overzealous and pressing your commission, Sith. Oh shit. What's gonna happen, dude? What's gonna happen here? The first matter of business is the presentation of a sworn testimony by the proprietor of the hotel where the murder. What is the testimony you wish to give us?
The man I saw leaving, Sunry, probably left after I heard the blaster shot.
The guilt of the accused is apparent even this early in the trial.
Know your place, Sith? Tell him, bro. Let's go. This is important evidence. The court will keep this in mind near the top of the list of facts. Let's go, guys. Dude, yeah. We'll now begin by calling forth the witnesses to the crime and taking their testimony. Let's do it, dude. Yes. After each witness has given their testimony and you have cross-examined them, you may ask the presiding judges for their opinions on the current state of the case. This is a special privilege given by Manan law only to the defendant, so use it wisely. The first witness is Ferrith. The prosecution will question the witness first. Alright.
You are Ferrith Me, the
well-known man, you on the Selkith home? Yeah!
I wonder if we can trust the word of a
Mars Rova?
reliable testimony.
Dude, welcome to the stream, man. You are, okay, a well-known Pazak player. I wonder if we can trust the world of a gambler as reliable testimony. Objection, your honors. Ask the witness your questions and do it promptly.
Of course, Your Honor.
Oh my gosh.
Ferrith Me,
oh.
what did you see the night of the murder?
Yo, Lars, thank you so much for the like of the live, man.
I came out into the hallway after hearing the blaster shot and saw Sunry over there limping down the hall out of the building.
A very obvious point, Your Honors. The accused was seen leaving the scene of the crime after the blaster that killed Elassa was fired.
After? No, it was before. He left before. Alright, so we're gonna cross-examine the witness. I have no additional questions. Did you actually see the murder happen? Was the metal left to the crime scene not a little too obvious? Oh. Lassa's a dark Jedi. Oh.
You mean actually see him kill her with my own eyes? Well, no.
There we go.
But I don't think there could have been anyone else there.
Your point is well taken, Arbiter. Hey! That's gonna mess with like their how they're thinking about the trial. The fact that he didn't actually see the murder happen. Yeah. Now we're working them.
Well, he was moving pretty fast running away, but yeah, I mean, how could he kill a Sith warrior in combat? I don't know for sure.
There we go. That's another that should actually help. I would assume so. He is fully capable. Oh my gosh. Can you see that the man can hardly walk, let alone fight? Lassa. There we go. That is enough for now. We will. Oh, they're gonna talk about it. They're gonna talk about it in private. Let's go. Let's go. We're making them think. Do you have additional questions?
I think it may have been. I mean, you'd have to be pretty stupid to leave something that important lying around, wouldn't you?
All right. Oh, here we go. Do we even need to say or ask about her being a dark Jedi? I'm not even gonna worry about it. It's a smart move. Oh, okay. He's unsure as yet. Okay, cannot make my decision on what I have seen. Oh, dang it. Probably gotta ask other questions. I just do not have enough information to judge this case yet. Oh, man. I cannot tell if Sunry killed Alassa, but I am confident it will be proven. Since the defense has no further questions, we will call out the second witness, the Rodian Glupor. This guy. Prosecution may question the witness. Alright.
Glupor the Rodian, you were staying in the hotel the night of the murder and saw Sunry leaving Alassa's room, didn't you?
Yes, Glupor sees Sunry running down hallway, and when Glupor look in room, Sith woman dead on floor.
This is clear then, that Sunry left the room with the Sith Alassa already dead behind him.
Perhaps Sith, perhaps it is the turn of the defense to question the witness now. Let's go. Did you see Sunry kill Alassa? Gotta ask it. Glupor not see Sunry really hurt Sith, but Glupor did see Sunry leaving room with dead Sith in it. But Glupor not see him really kill Sith. That's gonna question them. That's gonna make them question. Did you plant the metal on Alassa? Dude, I so badly want to ask that, but don't know if that's gonna be the right move. Sunry seems like a strong man, but he is hurt too. Lupor not think that man like that would stand up to a Sith, not at all, but Sunry still run fast after. Okay. Dude, okay, now I don't know what to do. And I do want to ask, did you plant the metal on Elassa? Like that, dude, I don't know if he's going to say yes to that, though. He could lie. Did you plant the metal on Elassa? Dude, I don't know what to do here, guys. Okay, okay. Bro, I'm really stumped. Dude. Why anyone leave things in someone else's room? Just think these things happens. It's just odd. Just odd indeed. Oh my gosh, dude. I so badly. I want to ask him this. But like I know that could. I feel like that could really backfire on us too.
Lupor.
Don't do it, Lupor.
Let's go. Yo. What is it you wish to say, Lupor? Yes, sir. Let's go.
Lies, slander. I object.
Tell him. Yo, Dalton. Well, this is, I mean, whenever I finish up this whole deal here, this trial, I'll be hopping off. You wish to ask the witness anything else? I have no additional questions. Oh, it's about to end? Dude, I crushed it. I crushed it. I felt good about that. Yeah, I was heart stuck for a moment, not gonna lie. Oh, do you like to pull the... Do you like to poll the judges at this time? What's that mean? So yes. Okay, here's Sunry's wife.
You, Elora, are Sunry's lawful wife.
Okay, here we go.
Your husband was a
damn
hero
well, at
in
least
the
got
last
to swing
war
by
between
and
the
get.
Sith
Do hell yeah,
Empire and
Dalton.
the Republic. He was crippled in that war. Do you not believe he'd blame the Sith
Dalton,
for his
cheers,
injury?
man. Cheers.
Yes. I guess he would.
And there you have motive. Sunry seeks revenge on the Sith for what they did to him and killed Elassa.
I did it. Cheers, Dalton. Cheers. Does the defense have any questions for the witness?
Yes. He fought
Okay.
against the Sith in the last war.
Did it bring up the
He
affair?
fought bravely
Should I,
and was even
Dylan?
awarded the Hero's Cross.
I feel like that's the
I don't
key
know
piece
how
of
much that
evidence.
means
It
to the
really
Sith
is.
Or to your Selkath, your honors. But in the Republic, it is awarded only to the bravest, most valorous, most
I feel like
honorable men. The kind of man who earns that medal.
I feel like, dude, I feel like I have to bring it up in order to get him out. I don't know what else is gonna be like enough proof. Yo, Montalvo, dude, welcome to the stream, man. It's the best RPG of all time. Let's go, dude. It's like it's my first Star Wars game I'm grinding out. And I'm trying to grind through majority of the Star Wars games out there. Pretty much starting on older consoles, and I'm gonna work my way up to newer games. Dude, thank you so much for the like on the live. This game has so much freedom. Watch this.
Yes. Yes, it was true. He was having an affair with that Sith harlot.
Dude,
it seems painfully obvious
what up,
that
Phil?
he killed
Welcome
her
to the stream, man.
About the affair.
What's going on, dude? Yo, we're asking about the affair. It's crazy.
He'd been seeing her for some time, I think. But he said he was going to change. He'd gone there that night to end it. We talked the night before and he'd promised. But now things have become so very complicated.
See? It'll influence their deliberation considerably. There's nothing else we're gonna do to persuade them. Do you have any more questions, Arbiter?
He was a good man.
Yep. Talk about his injuries once again. Just reinstate that.
But he always held on. Always persevered. I don't think he could have beaten her or anything like that.
Yo, he said Star Wars, Battlefront
I just don't know.
1, 2, both the OGs, Republic Commando, KOTOR 2, dude, bet. Yeah, at some point, dude, I'll be going through all of those games. Eventually, I'll do like Force Unleashed 1 and 2 as well on the 360, and then eventually I'll move on to newer games like Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order. I'm pretty hyped, dude. I can't wait to get through like some of these different games too. Like a lot of these I haven't played. We have no additional questions. Yes.
Another warrior
Go,
joins
dude.
the fellowship. Let's go.
Montalvo, let's go, bro. Dude, hell yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm pretty much just playing older games first, and then I'm gonna work my way up to a lot of the newer games. Seems to me that the evidence is weighted against Sundry. Could have committed this crime. Alright, dude, they're all changing their minds. I think we got this, man. I think we got this in the bag. Did her having a lightsaber come up in the trial? Nope. I never brought it up, Dylan. Does the prosecution have any?
I wish to call forth Sunry himself, Your Honors.
Oh boy. Alright, what's gonna happen?
Are you a war hero, Mr. Sunry? You fought in wars against the Sith Empire, correct?
Yes, that's right. And I don't regret it either. The Republic needs its heroes.
Indeed. Would you say that you dislike the Sith, even hate them?
A lot of folks hated this mission. Hey, welcome back, dude.
Killing millions of innocents?
You did it.
Pure
You dig
politics.
it. I think it's fun.
Were you in
Dude, it's kind of
on the
cool.
night of the murder?
Well, yes, I was.
I was
I
gonna
had been
ask.
having an affair with Alassa, my wife, yes. But I realized how wrong I'd been, and I was going there to end it.
You were having an affair with a Sith. You wanted to end it quickly and quietly, so you killed her from behind and tried to flee.
No,
I think we can see the answer clear enough, Mr. Sunry.
No. Do not interrupt the accused. Yeah, this guy's mean. Bro, that guy's just being an ass. Get him out of here. You're we're going there to end the affair. Would the Sith object? I don't even know what to ask here. Holy shit. Maybe just go through them?
Yes, I think they would. They wouldn't want to lose one of their sources, even though I didn't give them anything. They might have killed her for her failure.
Okay,
or they might have thought she'd turn against them or something like that.
Bet.
The Sith Empire is not the barbaric institution you portray it to be.
Oh, man. Let's go. Let's go. It benefits us. Yes.
I don't know. The medal had gone missing some time ago. I never found out what happened to it. It's possible the Sith had stolen it and had it planted on the body.
Supposition, Your Honors?
Ooh. It deserves consideration. Let's go. Should we go ahead and ask?
Of course she was. Why would a young, beautiful Sith woman get with an old cripple like me?
Ah, shit, my bad, guys. Yeah, he did. I asked him why he planted the medal. And eventually he spit the truth out, so. Pull the judges? Damn. Oh my god. I shouldn't have asked that question. I really messed up. Yep.
I think the facts in this case are very straightforward. Sunri was having an affair with Ilasa.
No.
She sought to
Come
end
on
it,
now.
and the
I think we
simplest,
got it.
quickest method, given his hatred of the Sith, was to simply kill her. Witnesses saw Sunri fleeing the scene, and material evidence places him there at the time of the murder as well. I am confident that any informed observation
I don't like this
of the
guy.
facts will lead the judges,
Get him out of here.
Your Honors, to this very conclusion.
Indeed, in your closing statements, Arbiter. Oh, shit. Now we gotta... Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. Shit, dude. Is it like 1 or 4? I might try it. No one actually witnessed the murder.
Well, that doesn't mean a thing. He was there, running from the room. The Sith would not leave the medal of her killer clutched in her hand.
Oh, all right. See what we get with that. Time for arguments to pass. Remember that Arbiter's argument does bring up a valid point. Is there anything else you would state? Dude, I don't even know if do I just go with my arguments are complete at this point? So definitely not 1 or 2. Yeah. I was questioning a lot. Ilasa was a spy and the Sith are framing Sunri. I don't know. I don't like this guy. Get him out of here. See what we get with that. Time for arguments to pass. Remember that Arbiter's argument does bring up a valid point. Is there anything else you would state? Ilasa was a spy and the Sith are framing Sunri. I didn't know if that would help me at all. But like that I couldn't figure out. I could just go ahead and say my arguments are complete and see if we get this. Well, I feel like that's kind of, you know what? Alassa was a spy and the Sith are framing Sunry. It sounds like that's our final piece to the argument, you know? Yo, what up? What up, P? Just popped in. Good luck and good night. Sounds good, man. Thank you so much for coming back to the stream, dude. I appreciate it.
A gift of honor. Fellowship Rose Rich.
Thank you so much for the 11 roses. Let's go, Heat. Dude, hell yeah. I need to get some sounds on my stream deck, man, and start popping in some tones when we get the gifts going. Also true, is there another point you would make? I'm gonna say that. This court hereby finds Sunry innocent of the murder of the Sith Alassa. We did it. We did it.
Your honors, no!
Dope, nothing else. You're in a good spot. That's what I'm saying, Dylan. Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Bro, I'm just glad we got here. So many dialogue options. It's insane.
I'm so glad.
Elora,
We have done all we could for you, old friend.
thank you for saving me. I don't know how I can repay you. Elora and I are going to leave here and get as far away from all this as soon as we can.
He should give me some credits.
I and the Republic will not
Tonight,
forget what you've done
dude.
for us.
Enjoy the XP, dude. For sure, Dylan. For sure, man. Oh, let's go, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and save, and I'll start to kind of wind down. Bro, we're gonna save on that. So no credits in the light side. I don't think there was. I don't think I got anything in that. Towards light side. Yeah, I didn't get anything towards light side. But yeah, dude, I'll pull this on up. But yeah, guys, so I do plan on streaming once again tomorrow night. We're gonna be live right around 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully we're on time this time around. But yeah, we are saying, you said take care of my friend. Dude, you too, man. I'm gonna be probably hopping off, watching some Star Wars Clone Wars to end the night, and yeah, so we're gonna be right back at it 7:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night. We are currently live on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and TikTok. All you guys have to do is look up iAchieve or iAchievestudios and you'll find me. I'm posting clips daily on TikTok and YouTube. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hop on out of here, and I will catch everyone tomorrow night. Everyone have a great night.